Hello investors and traders, today I'll speak about nice dividend stocks to buy right now, great dividend stocks that will pay you a nice and great stable dividends and of course stable cash flow. So let's start with the first company for today. It's NextEra energy company. It's representative from the utility sector, electrical utilities. It's a company with a very high USG rating, and of course its dividend yield now more than 3%, and for me it's very attractive. Let's have a look at the parameters of this company. I remind you, this is my customized stock screener. So look, the NextEra market cap more than 100 billion bucks. Its performance in this year, it's down more than 30%. It's very good for us. We can buy a nice and great company with a discount. P ratio is 14, NPS is 5. So I can say it's cheap company, but look, nice discounts. For me, it's very good. Net income margin is positive 33%. It's a lot, believe me. The EBITDA ratio is a little bit elevated, but the interest coverage more than 4. So generally speaking, as for now, I don't see problems with that, but it's still elevated. So we should pay our attention at the financial position of NextEra company. But as I telling you, for now it's okay, generally speaking. Of course, I don't buy thousands of share of this company. I just beginning to construct my position in this company. And the dividend yield more than 3%, and look at the 3-year dividend growth rate is more than 3%. Of course, for me it's very positive vibe. It's always a very positive moment. Let's have a look at this company a little bit closer. So as I told you, it's the company engaged in the provision of renewable energy. It operates throughout the following segment: FPL and ER. Also, the company involves in the generation and transmission, distribution, and sale of electricity energy in Florida. So very nice company. The EP ratio, as I told you, maybe here it's not correct. Let's move to the quarterly data. Yeah, we see it decreasing. Look, it was 40-30. Now it's only 15. So it's really last 5 quarters becoming cheaper and cheaper. If I look at the data, I can't say it's stable, it's changing. But for example, last 3 quarters, we see that the revenue is growing, but the marginality a little bit decreasing. But still, it's more than 60%. The net profit margin for me is very high number. The dividend yield, look, more than 3%, but the payout ratio very low. Only half of its revenue the company paying as a dividend, so it's very low. And I see here a great room for the NextEra to increase the dividend payments. And we see that at least last 5 years the company continued to increase the dividend payments. And for me, as a dividend investor, of course, it's very positive signs. If I look at the projections of the revenue, so it's expected to grow for the next 4 years, and also the EPS, earning per share. Also, the analysts and the invest companies expecting that this company will show a nice performance. So generally speaking, NextEra is a nice dividend company for me. Its correction from its high levels is now about 40%, so a nice discount. And look, if we'll check its chart since 2008, so actually traded in increasing channel. Now it traded in a lower border of this channel, so why not to try to pick this stock. Also their side, the momentum indicator on the monthly time frame, now 35. The stock already oversold. Last time we saw such low levels, it was actually 15 years ago. So I think that now it can be interesting moment to buy, to consider buying this stock. And also look, the P ratio now is 15. Actually, it's the same levels as 2018, 2019. But don't forget that all this year the company paid a nice juicy dividends, more than 3% for me. It's a good dividend yield, and also the company continued to increase the dividend payments. So generally speaking, next era is a great dividend company for me. Let's have a look on my dividend portfolio. Now it's more than 30 kilo bucks. But look, today it's a good day in the stock market. The S&P 500 growing more than 0.5%. Actually, we are very close to the all-time highs. From all-time highs, now we traded only 5-6%. So it's if we will see the Santa Claus rally, most probably we may see the all-time highs in this year. Also the Nasdaq index, IT companies also growing very nice now. And from all-time highs levels, we also only 5%. Actually, it's 1 day of trading. 5%, it's nothing at all. Let's go also the TLT. The LT, I have a lot of TLT, a lot of US treasury bonds in my portfolio. Look, it's my portfolio breakout. The TLT is more than 30%, and the TMF also 8. TMF, I remind you that it's 3x long position from the TLT, from the US Treasury bond. Also I have the gold, but I'm considering to decrease the amount of gold because now 17%, in my mind it's a lot. Let's have a look on the gold. Actually, there is a GLD, it's the ETF on gold prices. So here it's my consideration for the gold. Look, it was here the correction, the ABC move. It was a triangle here, wave B, and actually most probably I believe that the correction here is finished. And now, so here I think is the impulse, the first wave, the second wave finished, and then expecting to see the third wave. And of course we may see maybe the final target can be 200 bucks, but anyway, as I told you previously, I have a gold in my portfolio now at about 18%, but I am planning to sell because still it's a lot. Of course I believe in the gold, but not so strong as in the TLT and the US Treasury bond. And of course the others, I have a lot of dividend stocks like Valero Energy, like Albemarle Company, Verizon, Pfizer, Kinder Morgan, WBA. By the way, WBA, let's have a look on WBA. A nice, another interesting dividend company in my portfolio. So here, let's move to the weekly time frame. Yes. So generally speaking, it looks like impulse, the first and the second, the third, the fourth and the fifth, and also it can be a range between 18 to 20 bucks, now the lower border of the range. But anyway, the dividend yield is now more than 9%. There is of course a probability that WBA will cut the dividend payments. Most probably there is it was a loss. It was a loss last quarter, but anyway we see that the revenue very stable. Last quarters the performance, its performance in this year it's down more than 40%, and also if we look at the expectations, the endless expectations for now. So the average price performance, the price target is more than 20%, and there are 16 analysts covering this stock, and 11 of them are telling this their recommendation is to hold. So generally speaking, WBA I'm also got in my portfolio. Dividend yield for me it's huge. Let's have a look in my screener at WBA. It's supposed to be here, yeah. So it was a loss last quarter, because that's why, of course, net income margin is negative, but interest coverage is very, very high. And generally speaking, the payout is, by the way, very low. I'm not sure that they will cut their dividends, but the current ratio is less than 1. It's not so. It's low, really low. But anyway, as I see it now, it's very cheap stock, very cheap company so I'm not planning to sell it now. Maybe I will buy a few stocks of this company of WBA, but as for now, it's very in my mind oversold. Let's have a look at the total gain. So I have, by the way, it's nice. I can sell another stocks of the GLD. Valero is down more than 12%. Albemarle more than 15%. Livent Corporation, it's also a beryllium producer. It's company related to the commodities sector. It's more than 20%. But look, it's small position. I don't mind. The MicroStrategy in my portfolio now, this position is up more than 50%. MicroStrategy, it's a proxy on the B2C, on the Bitcoin, and of course we can see that it's magnificent performance of the Bitcoin this year. Let's have a look on its performance. Yeah, its performance year to date is more than 120%. It's actually a lot. It's crazy. What's happening here? I hold this. I had position in the Bitcoin, but I sold it in summer. Now I'm planning to start I would like to have some exposure on the Bitcoin in my portfolio, so I'm buying it throughout MicroStrategy, but unfortunately I bought only one stock, and it's up more than 50%, so it's crazy, it's a lot, but that's what we have. And the TLT, my biggest bet for the next year, I hope. So here, look, I see few targets. The first one is $90, and the next one 106. So from the current level, if we'll reach 106, so it's up about 20%. But don't forget that I have also the TMF. It's 3x on this on the TLT. So generally speaking, it's my plan for the next year. So gold, the Bitcoin, the dividend stocks, dividend kings, and of course the US Treasury bonds. I'm buying it throughout the TLT. It's the bond ETF on the US Treasury, 20 plus years. Don't forget, because it's also important. And of course the last statement I would like to say, that I'm expecting to see on the next year the Fed to starting to decrease its interest rate. Now it's more than 5%, maybe it will be 4, maybe 3%, but the same time that when they will decide to decrease its interest rate, we may see a spike, a very strong bounce in the US bonds, especially in the TLT. So it's my view for my portfolio for dividend stocks. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the like button, and of course see you on the next time. Bye.